What's up, locals? It's Mike and Kenzie coming to you live from the 775. Now, before we get into this episode, we have one small request. Please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen. Now, let's get into it.
And Shayne, welcome back to your favorite locals podcast. We are super excited to be talking to you guys, and it's been a minute. It's
1 year.
Been 1 year.
It's a long minute.
Actually, yeah, 1 year with Jordan, and then I think maybe 8 months.
Like 8 months, yeah.
Yeah, 8 months with Shayne. And so for our listeners, can you just do a little bit of breakdown on what you guys have been up to? The last time that we talked to both of you, Jordan, you were working on opening Crow's Nest Ranch, and Shayne, you were about to go to Thailand and train.
Yeah.
So Jordan, give us the rundown.
So since then, we've opened both Crow's Nest Ranch, sober living and outpatient, state licensed, certified, all that fun stuff. It's been a roller coaster ride of pure enjoyment for me. Definitely moments of.
You look so happy.
I mean, dude, it's fulfilling. You know, it's like everything, you know, you take the bad with the good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we're open, serving our community, serving, you know, people in need of, you know, substance use disorder support and treatment. Definitely for sure, like something I'm enjoying a lot more than my other job, but I also enjoy my other job a lot because I like the mix-up of it all. So don't fire me, Jamie.
Doing great.
Because I do enjoy all the marketing I do for them as well. It continues to stretch my creativity in a different way, right? Mm-hmm. You know, how do you make snow removal look sexy? Well, you just got to film the tractor from the right angle. Get that OnlyFans look, you know?
Nice wide angle lens.
Only blowers.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so, and Shayne can say this, and if Shayne starts to say, or I start to say anything and I have to be like, oh, can't mention that, just by HIPAA compliancy, I'll maybe do awkward pauses or punch him in the head.
Yeah.
We can do a quick little...
We'll duct tape the mouth. It's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so Shayne's, he's our house manager there. I'm going to let him take over now. But real quick, pretty much like when he went to Thailand and he was like, man, I think I'm going to have a hard time staying sober over in Thailand since I've been working with Shayne since he got sober. I was the voice of painful honesty for him. I just told him, well, if you go there and you use, you don't have a job with me, so don't fuck this up. And that was my inspirational speech. So he can fuck it up.
Wow. Good job. That's amazing. I mean, I didn't even think that was a question for you to use. Is it like very prominent there?
I mean, yeah, when you go...
Maybe that's a stupid question. I don't know. Sorry.
Thailand is like party central.
Yeah. I was going to say, can you picture like 50-cent beers around the clock?
I mean, I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but I've just never been to Thailand, so I don't know what that culture is like at all.
Yeah, especially like in Bangkok. I mean, you got ladyboys everywhere trying to give you soapy massages and...
And soapy beer.
Soapy beer, yeah, if that's what you're into. People in your face all the time trying to sell you alcohol, trying to give you drugs, trying to get you to cave in.
Wow.
Yeah, even if you tell them no, like they're pretty like, I don't think it's the same concept as United States. Like no means no. Over there, it's like no means
no means not yet.
Not yet.
It's like a frat house. No means maybe.
What is consent again?
Yeah, exactly.
I apologize to all the frat guys out there.
I don't. Anti-frat night. But yeah, since the last time I talked to you guys, I had like a little bit over 4 months in Thailand. Had an amazing time. I focused like pretty much every day out there on my training. I was training like 5 hours a day a lot of the time, like just doing 2-hour sessions in the morning, 2 hours at night, or in the evening. I was doing runs. Didn't do too much lifting and stuff. It was just
Saw a lot of ice baths.
a lot of ice baths, a lot of saunas. Still doing a lot of sauna actually. Like me and Jordan go to the sauna a lot. Like
Friday night bro steam.
yeah,
Nice.
we do a lot of sauna. But
Do you guys have a sauna there at Crow's Nest Ranch, or?
There is a sauna that we have access to and a steam room, and so we do 30 minutes in the sauna and then 10 minutes in the steam room. And by the steam room, we're pretty much delirious and saying things that we can neither confirm nor deny that we say.
Just
Room
gets
was
a little.
spinning with gayness.
Just let me hug you, bro.
Oh, that's awesome. And you also were doing 7-hour sessions on your arm.
yeah, I got this whole arm done out there. That was pretty cool.
You got staff.
Can you? Wait, you have staff
He had staff.
Yeah.
Well,
from Thailand?
Yeah.
Was it like pretty brutal?
Yeah, staff isn't fun. Like
No.
they're like little, like look like pimples almost. But
Yeah.
It's like
and the skin starts to eat itself.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally the skin starts to eat itself. It's pretty like it hurts pretty bad, and then
Yeah.
you start to squeeze pus out your arm, and yeah, it's
Never a good
gross.
thing.
No,
Not
but you're healing.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, good.
No longer contagious, so
That's good.
Okay.
You on the antibiotics right now?
I have antibiotic
Just
cream.
patient zero.
Patient
All that topical. This is where monkeypox comes from.
He's the V for Vendetta of Truckee.
Oh my gosh.
Remember.
There's a lot of diseases out in Thailand. Let me tell you.
You just had a 1,000-yard stare with
I
that.
know. I'm like, what other things happened in Thailand?
When Shayne came back, he was quarantined and deloused.
Just hose him down out back. Like, all right. So, with
like a
how'd you
sick
get
dog.
staff? Do you know? Just rolling around being dirty?
No, yeah. I think I got it as I was coming back from because I took a bus ride from Phuket to Bangkok before I flew back home, and that bus was pretty sketchy. And I just got all those sessions done on my arm, and I realized like a couple days after that bus ride, I was like, oh, fuck.
Did they wrap it at all for you? Like when you
wrap tattoos out there.
Really?
Yeah, it's so humid that they don't like.
Just raw
They
dog.
told me they're like, yeah, we don't wrap tattoos in Thailand. And I was like, what do you mean? Like I thought that was like normal procedure for tattooing, like leave it on a day or two, whatever. But no, they just told me to keep it clean and yeah.
So, take us through the process of this tattoo, because I feel like I remember seeing it online, and didn't someone like choose this type of tattoo for you, or there was like some.
Fuck, I hope it was you.
No, yeah, I gave them the idea. Yeah.
Okay.
I told them I wanted to be like 300 inspired.
But I thought they gave you like a name. Am I completely?
Different tat that's on his back.
Oh.
She's thinking of the stick poke.
The Sakyant.
Yeah, Sakyant, Hanuman.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Different one.
Okay, but did that happen in the same trip?
No, that happened last year when I went there to Thailand.
Oh, for some reason I thought that you had like some kind of naming happen with this tattoo, this trip.
No.
This was just your idea. This is
Yeah.
all you. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, pretty much, yeah. All this was my idea, and then they needed to fill up this little space on my arm, and they're like, "How do you feel about Apollo?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'll be cool. I like Greek gods and shit." So,
Yeah, so I guess what was your idea behind this? Like, where did this come from?
I don't know. I think it was like a couple of years back. I was like, I don't know why it's like 300, but I was like, I wanted to be 300 inspired for some reason because I really like that movie. I like it's pretty zesty movie. I'm not going to use the word,
I
but
say you can use the word. It's fucking Spartan was gay as shit.
yeah, it was pretty gay. But
It was a good movie.
I think like I just think it's a badass movie. And
I do have to ask you. Do you
know
guys know about Will Blunderfield?
Oh my God, he's my favorite person online.
Yeah, he knows all about the Spartans.
He's my guilty pleasure. I follow him just for the fucking comedic relief sometimes.
Really?
And he's not a joke either. He
He's
knows
not
the humor
joking.
of it.
Like, look, all right, everything aside, some people out on the internet, the way that they decide to express themselves and represent themselves baffles me because I have a real hard time representing myself in general. given I've taken some chances for sure, but like watching this guy just be an open book, I'm just like, bro, there is something inside of you that is interesting. And so from just like a sociological point of view, it is hilarious.
Yeah, he's a case study. Do you know
He drinks his own urine on camera.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Talks about
Oh, yeah,
other
you're
dudes'
not
hummus
hard until you
cannons.
drink your own piss.
Yeah.
Sterile, and he likes the taste.
Patches O'Houlihan. Yeah, he's this creepy bald dude that just talks
he's
about
like-
hummus
he's
cannons and masculinity in a different light.
He's like a well-to-do singer. Like he's got an angelic voice. Yeah, dude. If I learn about somebody, I gotta really know. I'm like, who is
Shayne apparently has an angelic voice as well.
Oh. We need to out.
He outed himself on the last
That
episode.
was the last podcast. Talking about singing and stuff.
A lot of
Oh
Will
my
Blunderfield
gosh.
in there. Got to look through it.
I do have Will Blunderfeld. Like when I first discovered him, I saved the video of him drinking his piss, so just so I could be like, some people. I discovered one guy who drinks his own fermented piss, and
Is that the guy who stands out in the sun and he's like, "This is aged 45 days"?
yeah, bro. The second he undoes that, and like it's like that. I can smell that piss from here
ammonia.
because
Yum.
the trap houses I've like been in before and whatnot. I was just like, I know that smell immediately. Just like, oh.
No, that's disgusting.
Yeah, imagine you sticking your head in a toilet and just
No, I can't.
Like
I
some-
don't.
like some
I don't
Thai
like that at
noodle.
all. Actually.
It's my favorite pho. But all that to say, Shayne, your sleeve is not gay, but the Spartans and what you did were. Your sleeve is sweet and not.
he does live in a house full of dudes.
Hey, that's kind of sweet.
Just saying.
We stare at each other's hummus cannons. And
Super masculine. Super masculine.
We do get down to our boxers and hang out in sweaty rooms together.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess let's talk about like the routine of Crow's Nest Ranch. Like for people who don't know like what Crow's Nest Ranch is, I know you had a brief description. Take us through like what someone who is interested in a sober living community, what does that look like for them to get in?
Well, we vet people pretty hard. We want to make sure, A, that you're committed to it. I'm really straightforward with people. Like I give off a pretty painfully honest persona, and it carries through heavily into that, where I'm just like, look, man, like I don't want you to enter this and then have you be messing up because, more likely than not, if that's your path, then you're not ready yet. And I'll be more than honest with people. And usually being like that will either turn somebody away, they'll stay informed and stay connected, or they're in. It's pretty much the only three options anyway, right?
Yeah.
But so I vet them pretty hard. We do intake with them. So it's pretty straightforward. And also admittedly, like if I think you're above our ability of care and control, I refer you out, and we have a bunch of different places that we refer out to. We try not to specialize in any one thing because that can be called client brokering, which is wicked illegal and wicked fucked up. And also, like when I started this, a lot of people came to me and they're like, "Oh, did you hear about this scam and that scam?" and looked at me all funny. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm trying to bring services community, and you're immediately going, "Are you trying to scam people?" It's like, this is a pretty small town. I feel like
Doesn't work.
You would
very
get
well.
outed
I feel
immediately.
like that wouldn't work, dog. So yeah, that was interesting. It's like, oh, I'm trying to help people, and you guys are immediately like, you trying to scam people? Like, okay, fuck you too.
Yeah.
Nobody to name specifically there, but it was just like, wow, dude, like that was your first reaction to me doing this. So like, I'm pretty adamant even now, and maybe that helped me because I'm pretty adamant about being like, hey, you need to make sure you're ready, and if you're not, go blow it out some more. Back when you're really just dragging ass. I'll refer people out, like I said. We'll intake them. A lot of this is super boring, so I don't know how interesting anybody would be about this, but we do an intake, do a lot of biopsychosocial questionnaires and things. A lot of it's pretty intrusive and very much like we got to get to the nitty gritty of what's going on with you. From there, you get an intake and we enroll you in our outpatient. You're required to be in our outpatient to be in our sober living. That's something I hadn't developed the last time we spoke, but if you're not doing the work and you're not doing the time, then I don't want to be a vacation home for you where you just get to like come and go as you please. It's not my style.
Yeah.
So we brought people in and we do everything from PHP, which is pre-hospitalization. That treatment is usually 5 days a week for about 5 hours a day, where we split things up in the morning and the afternoon pretty well. And then on Saturdays, we'll do like we just did a litter cleanup with Clean Up the Lake, or no, litter sorting with Clean Up the Lake. That was 5 hours a day. And so that was their treatment for the day, and we sat and talked about it. And we talked about like how taking pride in your community helps you take pride in your recovery, because it's kind of like taking pride in your home, right? Well, your extended home is your community.
Yeah.
And so we always refer back to a very, very like legit and like evidence-based style of treatment. We are definitely developing our own style of curriculum, for sure. Mainly because the amount of institutions I've been through. I'm just kind of doing what I think would appeal to the kind of person where you would want to come to a place like Truckee, or when you're in Truckee and you're that kind of person, or North Lake Tahoe for that matter. We serve people all the way from being from Tahoma all the way up. We've also worked with people who have come in from out of the community as well. You know, the community can only provide so much, and you can only battle with so much static in there that, you know, we do treat people outside of the community, but I would say 95% of our patients are community members. We bill insurance, which is something no other mental health, anything in the helping of human services does in our local community. Everybody's out of pocket, like, fuck you, pay me. And we're like, nah, we'll go to your insurance and tell them, fuck you, pay us, because that's why you pay for insurance, right?
That's the entire point.
And you are quite literally getting, like, Shayne can attest for this. I'm not just blowing it out of my own ass here, but you are getting a quality of care that even I have never gotten anywhere else. Like, we are very much on top of it. We give a shit. And it's almost become one of our, like, internal mottos, right? Like, you need to give a shit. So I've taken a long time explaining things, but it's pretty much, so Monday through Thursday is the bulk of the curriculum. Morning session, which is usually a body workout. Monday is jiu-jitsu. Tuesday is fighter fitness for recovery. Wednesday is yoga, and we just wrapped up yoga on the beach because it started to get a little cold in the morning. And then Thursday is Muay Thai for recovery. And then Monday through Thursday afternoon, usually about 3-hour session, which can sound daunting until you get into talking about your problems and other people are talking about their problems, and it tends to flow pretty well. Shayne's sitting in on that because he's a counselor in training. Goes by pretty quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and we stick to one theme a week, and we fucking hammer on that theme. Like, this last week, it was emotional regulation, and so one day was mindfulness meditation. The next day was learning how to play the tape forward, and we spent 3 hours learning how to play the tape forward. 3 hours learning how to mindfulness meditate.
Can you describe that, what playing the tape forward is?
Sure. So, have you ever seen the music video with Eminem and Dr. Dre where they go back and forth and, like, it's every scenario? Okay, I can tell nobody.
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Guilty conscience,
Yes.
yeah. So
I have not seen that, so explain
we
someone who.
so we walk you
different scenarios.
we walk you through a scenario to where you end up in a point where you can go left or right, just like in Guilty Conscience, right?
It's like, should I kill this man or not? It's
Yeah,
like,
should I use or should I not,
Okay.
right? So you get to a point where you're triggered, and so what we do is we get to that point, and then we play the tape forward when you trigger and you use. And we go, where does that get you? And we go all the way down to the point where they're starting to feel guilty and everything else, and I drag them down there, and I'm like, keep going, keep going. This rocky road doesn't stop. Keep going. And then we go, all right, stop. And then we go all the way back, and we go, okay, now let's play the tape forward the other way and what you didn't do. And then we get to there, and so I try to do shit, then nice, so that way it's like we end on the good
you
feeling,
don't feel
right?
terrible at the end.
Not like, oh, let's go down nice, now let's go down shitty, and let's just leave you in that horrible space, all right? See you later, bud. But no, anyway.
Yeah, that's like what most therapists do,
Yep.
in my experience.
Yeah, anyway, so, you know.
See you next week.
It's that. It's quite.
The hour is up.
Yeah. So it's quite literally just plain scenarios out forward. It's a simple concept. It's used a lot. I'm not saying I invented this whatsoever. First of all, any knowledge-based program ever is usually somebody else has retained trained knowledge from somebody else, taken it, and then adapted it, right?
Yeah.
anything. Nobody's original in this field. So I'm not saying things we do are original, but the way we approach them, I would say, is different because of the way we thematically do things week by week rather than today is this, today is that. And instead of being like, John and Rachel are having problems in this workbook, and Rachel went out and drank, and John's now feeling triggered, and Rachel's feeling bad, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, fuck John and Rachel. Hey, you know who had a problem? Me. And so did other counselors, and so do you. So we take a very relational approach. Now that can come off almost dangerously, like to the point where you can it's called transference, where like potentially the client could almost feel as though they're the therapist and they have to talk you through things. And so that's a really thin line that I pay a lot of attention to, where I go, and here's why I'm here, right? So that way I pull back and then I go, how about you? Have you ever been there? And I know they're going to say yeah, because an addict's brain is an addict's brain is an addict's brain. We all are very individual, but when it comes down to a lot of things, we've done a lot of the same shit, right? And we've all had the lawyer brain trying to convince us of different crap, right? So anyway, the afternoons are different things. And so, yeah, so all 4 days of that. Fridays are one-on-ones with our clinical director, Lorraine. She's a fucking badass. She's like
blow my nose real quick.
It's like being around the season C captain that you know has like the missing leg and the scar over the eye. I don't think she has a missing leg, by the way. She's actually pretty active, wakes up at like 5 a.m. and works out in her 60s, kind of a lady.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
wish that was me right now.
She's probably just like...
I cannot get myself up.
Yeah.
I woke up at 6:30 today and I was dragging ass. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do that in my 60s.
Yeah, my body woke me up at 6:30 this morning. I was like, it's fucking Saturday.
I know. That's what I was saying. I'm
bullshit.
like, no.
This is bullshit. So anyway, yeah, so I'll say this about the entire process. As I was joking about, I quite literally feel like the famous video of the monk in horse stance while the other monk just blasts him in the nuts multiple times over and over again. But the composition of it, and like the fact that like when something negative happens, something positive usually happens as well, and that it just keeps inviting me to be like, this is not for nothing. Where one door closes, another door opens pretty quick, and it seems to be even better and more opportunistic. And that's been fucking awesome. And we've only been open 6 months as an outpatient. Our sober living. Oh, and one thing I want to get really fucking clear is our outpatient is open to everyone, not just men. Our sober living is just men. Shout out to the Truckee Housing Accessibility Program. They're working with us to figure out how we can collaborate on potentially buying a house. They helped me buy my house.
Oh.
They gave me enough money where I could actually afford a house in that place.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So like, shout out to them and what they're doing. They're interested in what we're doing as well.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I'm pretty stoked there. And once we get that going, the idea to open up women's sober living is 100% on the table. Right now we're trying really hard to, and I'm getting way off subject from the program here, but right now we're trying really hard to, we're trying to raise money because it's grant season. It's grant application season.
Yeah.
And we're trying to raise enough money where we've had a lot of people contact us, and poor B, when she has to answer the phone, Brianna, my wife, fucking, when she has to answer the phone and people are crying and in need of help, and like they have Medi-Cal or they have no way of doing it, and it's just like, man, we do take on charity cases per like 90 days of people, and we have these charity cases, we stick with them. One guy's been hanging out with us for 6 months. He's only once a week now, and we don't ask a question, we don't charge a dime, nothing. We've got a couple other charity cases we work with right now too, and that's fucked up to call them charity cases, but I don't know what else to say.
There's no money involved. It's just
we're
trying to help somebody.
Yeah, and dude, our first class was 10 people. Our first class, like literally they come in cycles, right? Like a 90-day program. So we get a lot of classes, right? And some people, they bleed into others because of the way their program works and the way we intake and the way that we end up doing their psychosocial, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, the point is that whole first class, 1 or 2 people, we were able to bill insurance out of 10. All the other people were nonprofit, nothing coming from it. I was just like, fuck it, let's get people in and let's just start producing a product, and word of
I'd
mouth
say
will
that's
carry.
that's kind of business in itself, though. Is you've got proof positive, right? You move some people through the program. Instead of it being 2 people because you could only take insurance, you've got 10. And then even though you might be billing 2, you're able to actually service 10. Next time, that word will spread like you're talking about.
Yeah, and now we have, enough people in there, and we're balancing it out. But my goal is to raise enough money to help like 3 people per 90 days for an entire year, which is a good chunk of change to keep the lights on, because we have to rent an office space, we have to rent a house. The landlord who's renting the house from us knows everything about it, had to sign ROIs and all that stuff. Dude, the amount of legal paperwork I have to do lately is insane. But it's, to help people out, right? So that's getting way off topic from how you get into a sober house.
Well, I appreciate you like just breaking down all of that, because it clearly shows how much work you've put into making this happen, and especially in a community that really needs it. It's still so like it's a work in progress, and it's clearly not like it's not done yet. It seems like there's more to be done.
Oh, we haven't even fucking scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Of what I want to do. Like, we're developing our own workbook. I'm developing a 1 year after workbook for when people graduate. I'm not saying this is going to perfect anything, but it's yours. Take it. And if it ends up in the recycle bin or the trash bin, better be in the recycle bin.
Yeah.
Then so be it. But like, I've at that point, and this is something you learn quickly, even with people who come in and then they end up disappearing for the program, and we have to discharge them, and they always know, hey, we're discharging you because you're quite literally not showing up for 2 weeks. Pretty sure you're back on the sauce or whatever that may be. But you're always invited back. You're never not welcome back, right? We're not just like, oh, you're out, gone, never see you again, like that. Yeah,
Totally.
Be fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess like with you being a very integral part of the house, like what has been the biggest benefit that you've seen for yourself and like people that are coming in? Like if someone was like, I don't know if this is for me or not, like what would you tell them would be the biggest benefit?
And bring that mic in too.
Yeah, I think just being around people with a like-minded goal is always beneficial.
And are you currently managing the house?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And actually, like, co-living with people is really good with recovery, I've realized too, because it's like, okay, everybody has to work together in the house. So it forces them to like, I don't know, like I'm freezing right now.
That's okay. Well, there's a word for it. It could be accountability. It could be...
Yeah, everybody's accountable for the house, and it makes them accountable with the recovery as well, because I feel like, there's a lot of people that aren't always the most accountable, and when you're forced to be accountable, it goes well with recovery.
Well, I think if you're surrounded by everybody who's trying to recover, that can be great or it can be terrible depending on if somebody's having a bad fucking day. It could probably set off a lot of people. But I imagine just having that level of support is really fucking helpful. You're all on the same page. You're all working towards something. And then when somebody is probably having a shitty day, being able to call them out. Like, if you're all in it together, does that happen a lot? Or is it more on like a counseling level that somebody would call someone else out?
I think it just depends on the individual too. Like you can't call out certain people because they will react differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say
The call outs depend on the person. We've got some people where you can be real blunt, and other people we have to hit them over the head with a soft bat kind of thing.
A wiffle ball.
Yeah, like a Nerf bat. Other people get the Other people get the Louisville Slugger.
So what have been like the biggest challenges then that you face of what you can talk about? And maybe it's personal.
Just I will say, like, I wasn't used to always being there for people, like I do enjoy being there for people. I think it's very rewarding for myself, which sounds selfish. I hope that doesn't sound too selfish, but
No, not at all. I have.
yeah, it's something that I've had to get used to, because I pretty much have to be there all the time. I always have to be a call away for whatever reason.
How do you manage your time that way?
We have another co-house manager. Sorry,
you
I'll
go.
jump in.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so they collaborate.
There you
They
go.
both get 24 hours. Don't fucking call me.
Yeah. Okay.
'Cause
Good, okay.
I'm a huge proponent of you time.
Yeah. That's how you blow a fuse pretty quick.
I'm I'm very much like, I know I'm the only way that I am, where it's like, I'm just go, but I know a lot of people aren't. And so I make sure that is taken care of. And if those two are starting to feel burnt, they know that they have direct line to me, and where I live is not far from where the house is, and I can be there quickly, and I can make sure to help out where needed. You know, I mean, I started this. I have to fucking
Yeah.
be willing to be the container, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry to interrupt, Shayne.
No, it's all good. But I do love what I'm doing. Like, I really do. It makes me happy. Even though it does get hard at times, it does get stressful. I love being there to support others. Yeah.
Shayne's a natural born leader. He doesn't know it. We're working on that. We're slowly strengthening the muscles around his
Yes.
spine, one by one.
To stand up a little straighter.
Yeah, but he's good. Guys connect with him well in the sober house. Great reports, like, and I saw it in him anyway. You know, you see him when
Yeah.
he coaches. He runs a room real well, and the fact that he coaches, it's really easy for me to, because he'll be like, "Can I do this?" I'll be like, "This is you're a coach.
Yeah.
These are your people that need to learn from you. And if they step out of line, let them know they're stepping out of line. Like, obviously, don't be like over the top, you know, don't turn this into a Sopranos episode.
Right.
But,
Don't.
you know, but at the same time, like, I literally tell everybody in the house, like, when he first came in, Shayne's judge, jury, and executioner, and you don't want me to get called because we have 5 strikes and you get a 5 a.m.
What's a 5?
Yeah, what's a 5 a.m.?
5 a.m. is for working out at 5 a.m. and then you go to your 7 a.m.
Yeah.
We don't just, like, if you're have a shitty attitude, you're not getting let out of my program. Sorry, buddy.
Oh.
Everybody else is giving up on you, but we won't. We have one person in specific in our program where he's been tossed around a few different places, and I don't know that he enjoys the fact that here we're like, well, everybody else is throwing you away, but sorry,
But
buddy.
you're gonna stay.
You're kind of stuck with me. I'm the most stubborn horse in the stable. So, anyway, Shayne's a natural leader, though.
Yeah, which is amazing that you're kind of like taking on this new role in this new phase of life for yourself, like, especially if this is something that you haven't done before and you're not used to it, where you're like, I haven't been relied on, you know, by so many people, and that can actually be really draining too. So it's good to know that you have that 24 hours of like, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
And you have a rotating person that people can call. Like, that's really important, I feel.
Do you guys mind if I crack a window? Because
No.
that fucking candle is like fucking with my sinuses and my eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a terrible idea.
Oh, I just got that candle today. I really like it.
I never use candles, and it's fucking with me. Paraffin wax or something that's fucking with my sinuses.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just open up. Just open up the door.
The amount of things I've shoved in my nose, I feel like I haven't noticed.
I haven't noticed anything either. I
Oh,
feel like,
dude, I forgot to mention. I brought something that I've talked to Mike about. We can talk about it.
Little something.
Yeah, so I've mentioned in a few times before, and Mike and I have texted about like things, and he's been like, don't talk about things you're not comfortable talking about. And there's definitely a lot of things, like, you guys go get surface stories from me. But something that I was pretty open to talk about with him was gunpowder and cocaine. And you know what I found in my belongings moving recently? Was the last bullet I snorted with the hole in it.
No fucking.
oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Can you?
I just wanted to make sure I brought this for you guys.
So real quick,
You're not getting it. Like, I'm going to
Yeah,
turn
no.
this into a medallion or something.
Yeah,
I was
you
about to
should.
say that belongs on a fucking necklace, but how
But-
sketchy is it drilling into that?
You know, when you're pretty zonked on drugs and alcohol, you're not thinking about that. You're more or less just like, you got a couple kitchen knives and like your fingers, and you're just like,
Come on.
Here we go. We're getting into the brown, baby.
Oh
wild.
my gosh.
And it's a 45, which I think is hilarious.
Like 45.
Well, thanks for the show and tell. That is insane.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked when I found out.
Like, tell the story again, because I feel like, didn't you share that last episode?
I've mentioned gunpowder and cocaine, and then everybody's just like, what? And it's called brown. And essentially the cocaine adds a little extra oomph to the gunpowder adds a little extra oomph to the cocaine.
It's supposed to help with blood flow. I was Googling it after.
It helps with blood flow and bioavailability. Very, very health conscious in my cocaine use, really wanted to get into every pore.
It's really popular in the Congo.
Yeah. The Congo, where they treat kids well.
Yeah.
And then the occasional psycho white boy.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe
I was so stoked I found it. I was like, oh.
Where did you find that?
It was in one of my old I have like trinkets things where I save old stuff, I have pins and whatnot, because I was like a hardcore punk rock kid and all that stuff, and this was just sitting in there, and I was just like, dude,
rotate it over. You're like, oh, this is it.
It's just like sits in like my little like catch-all thing on my dresser next to a couple other things like my gold teeth and whatnot that are like from that era of my life.
Gold teeth is in a grill?
As in a grill.
Oh shit. So there's a comedian on the Reno circuit, and he had to get his front tooth replaced, and so the dentist said, as long as you cover the gold, we'll do the whole like surgery for free, pro bono. And so he has a nice gold tooth right here.
That guy's my hero.
Yeah, he looks like a pirate. Shout out to Will Brisson. But,
Will, you're the man.
Yeah, but it's not a grill. That thing is fucking permanent, and it's front facing.
I can decide in day out whether I want to look ridiculous or not.
Yeah.
Nice.
Although I will admit, now all I have are like the two gold teeth. They're called, oh Jesus, now I'm dub caps. Mm-hmm. I had a full 13 front twice and lost both at two separate times in strip clubs.
Oh.
At strip clubs?
So that's $3,000 times two.
Wait, how did you lose that at a strip club?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't ask that question.
I have no idea.
He brought it up.
Yeah, but it's just funny that they both happened at strip clubs is really the case.
Oh my gosh.
Both times I woke up in the morning, I was like,
oh no.
Sick.
Oh no.
He's going to be a not so pretty stripper rocking gold. Just like
no, dude, they take that shit and they go fucking hawk it and
I was gonna say melt it down
because it's custom made to your teeth.
Yeah,
right?
It's not gonna fit.
So like they do a dental thing, and I was telling Shayne this. I was like, I might buy one someday because I do have the mold of my teeth too, and just put it on that and put in like a shadow box.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about a really idiotic time in my life.
It's like a conversation starter.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought you guys would enjoy the fact that I actually had a bullet.
No, I can't believe you found that. I'm like so glad that you brought that. I was like, wait, no, I remembered that was something that you did in the past. It's like hard to believe some of the stories I remember you were telling. I'm like, is that true? Like, it just seems so insane.
You don't want to know that.
You guys get like the surface stuff. Like there's certain things like I've even told Shayne about when I went to Texas, and this will not go mentioned here because it's 10 years.
Yeah.
But there's things I've done and participated in that all just kind of live with me and only happen in circles.
Yeah, which makes sense. Sometimes it's just better as a memory, not talked about.
And a statute of limitations.
Yeah. I mean, like, Shayne and I exchange war stories pretty regularly. It kind of helps, like, it's like, not to compare ourselves to veterans whatsoever, but it's similar concept where vets like to get together and just talk about, like, Charlie,
The trees are talking.
Right. So, like, similar idea, right, where we just kind of exchange war stories and, like, I'm glad I got that off my chest,
Yeah.
Shayne's got some gnarly ones, too. So
I can imagine.
I'm not the only sinner.
The only war hero.
So speaking of like Thailand, back to Thailand for a moment, when they're all trying to sell you shit and they're in your face. I just got back from a bachelor party in Mexico. Yeah. And it sounds very similar where there's like strip clubs and they're trying to sell you blow and they're trying to sell you beers that are like warm and sweating and you're just like, please get away from me. God damn it. And I hate that feeling because I feel like a mark. Like everybody just wants money from you.
Yeah.
No one's your friend. That's the worst part.
Now you know what it's like to be a rich guy on Tahoe with a boat.
All these hot chicks are like, would you like to go? We love boating.
Okay, I want to know about the lady boys. I've been very curious. You need to just give the dirty
Obviously, they
details.
didn't use soap.
I know. You were talking about other diseases in Thailand, and I'm like, okay, now I need to know.
They're
So,
good grapplers.
can you share some secrets with us about your time in Thailand?
Well, I will say I'm not a big fan of the Ladyboys. I'm really not.
But you'll listen to them from time to time, kind of like music.
But sometimes I will conversate with them just to get some.
Did you
comedic-
try?
Yeah. Did I try? Did I try
you sample
Ladyboy?
the-
Yes.
No. I will say I did not try Ladyboy.
Shayne had a little romance in Thailand with a lady.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And they weren't a boy.
No.
Jury's out on that. Jury's out on that.
I'm just messing with you.
No,
Okay.
She's from Kazakhstan.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yeah.
See why the jury's still out?
Because I remember we also talked to the single ladies out there last episode with you. We were talking about your singing and all that stuff. So how did you wine and dine her? Did you sing to her? Did you take her on a date on a moped?
I did actually, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I'm just
sucks
spot
up
on.
and
Do I
tuck
need
up,
to
yeah.
even ask any more questions?
Yeah, it was honestly amazing. Like I haven't felt so happy with a woman in a very long time, you know.
Oh, yay.
I was able to go to the beach with her, like when I wasn't training, because I was training a lot. But like on like my rest day, I would go to the beach and we'd do like a little picnic or something. I was being a little soft romantic boy, you know. And yeah, we'd go watch a movie or
He was being a guy in a relationship, in other words.
Yeah, I was like,
All the shit you're like, guys, don't talk about this. Play it cool.
Some chest hair.
way better than Woman in America, I will say.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why?
100%.
No, explain. Tell
Dude,
me
you're
more.
not getting a date for a while.
way better than the American women
They
here.
don't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say they know their place.
There wasn't
could-
like a language barrier at all?
No, she like her English is like honestly like she'll
Better than
correct
American
me.
women?
Yeah, she correct me. Like my fucking English isn't that good, you know. Like I'm
Amen, brother.
a bonehead. I barely met out of high school.
So do you guys keep in touch?
Yeah. I talk to her all the time.
Long distance, or just like, hey, now that we're out of country, you do you, and maybe we'll
Yeah,
we'll
no,
get back
it's-
together.
Yeah, I call her every day and talk to her all the time, and it's
That
pretty.
sounds pretty active.
Yeah, it's hard though. It's rough. It's
Yeah.
rough. But I just like that I can talk about whatever with her. You know, like I can make questionable jokes. You know, like sometimes you say some things to ladies here, and they're like, "Really? You really said that?" And I'm like, "What's the big deal? What the hell? Like it's just
Thought this
funny."
was a safe.
Come on. What's the big deal? Yeah.
Yeah.
Third world women have such better senses of humor, you know? They've seen some tragedy.
Yeah, they've been
gonna
through some
say.
shit.
Communism.
Their trauma's a
Get through it.
capital T. They got traumas with a capital T.
Yeah. So, okay, so you found some romance, and I'm assuming that your Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu got better when you were in Thailand.
Yeah.
So tell us about the training. Was it intense? Like, what happened?
Trains on dudes.
It was predominantly in a gym. They weren't really camping a lot, so
Yeah.
you said it was intense.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, right over my
I'm allowed
head.
dad jokes, right?
The training was intense. I will say, like call me a pussy or whatever, but one of the hardest days of my life was in Thailand training, and my trainer or my crew, whatever you want to call it, he was making me cut weight for a fight that I didn't need to cut weight for.
Just to thug it out.
Because in Thailand, they don't make you weigh in. Like, you can fight somebody like 10, 15 pounds heavier, 20 pounds heavier than you. It's just like, oh, you guys look similar. Yeah, you guys are fighting today. Yeah, that's how it works. It's just normal for people to fight out there, so they're not too big on weight limit and stuff. But he was having me cut weight. He was like, okay, you need to get down to like 67 kilo. And I was like, bro, I walk around at like 73, 74 kilos. Like that's normal weight. And he had me in a sweatsuit running around a lake. It wasn't even a lake. It was like a man-made like sewage.
Wait, just to clarify, he wanted you to drop like 20 pounds?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You don't really look like you have a whole lot of 20 pounds to drop.
Say, like, why?
Like I could drop 20 pounds, but
it was 100. It was like
no.
It was about 100 degrees outside. I forgot like what it was in Celsius. It was like 40 something Celsius, but extremely humid. Like this day was horrible, and he was like, "You need to lose this weight." I was already dehydrated, and it was like 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's humid. It's really hot. I'm running uphill this lake, and like I'm literally like on the verge of just going out. Like everything's going black, everything's just zoning in, everything's starting to flash. It's like and he's like, run. And I'm like, bro, I literally have nothing left to give. And then like I forgot how many miles I ran, but I ran around this whole entire thing. And like at the end of it, he's like, okay, now it's time to hit pads. And I was like, time to hit pads, bro.
I'm ready to die.
I like the amount of like sweat. It looked like I was like showering. Like the water was just dripping out. And he's like, okay, now you're ready to fight. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Was he like setting you up for failure? Like, how did that fight go?
I won. That was my first fight. It was my first fight out though.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. He turned me. He literally.
So it seems like
Adam was in his DMs. Push that boy.
Yeah,
he was. No, Adam.
Like,
yeah, like
hey, you 8,000 bot right now.
Yeah, my first fight, I was like, it was extremely sick, and like that whole entire week. And Adam, he was right. Adam was in my Instagram. He's like, what the hell? Like I was not going to fight because the whole week I was like just in my bed, just sweating, shitting my brains out.
Montezuma's revenge of whatever Thailand is.
Yeah.
Buddha's revenge.
Yeah.
Eating dog and stuff, you know. Not eating dog, sorry.
Hey, I heard they're delicious.
I'm just kidding. But
Here you can go to Springfield for that kind of a thing now.
yeah, but we got to Friday night and I'm texting Adam and he's like, dude, you're going to fight. Like you went out there to fight. Like it doesn't matter that you're sick. Like you need to get out there and get those reps in. And I put myself in a sensory deprivation tank that day, and I put myself in the darkest place in my mind. Like I was like, okay, like if I'm gonna get knocked out, I'm gonna get knocked out. If I'm gonna get my face split open, I'm gonna get my face split open. If I'm gonna win the fight, I'm gonna win the fight. Like I put myself through every scenario, and then
if he dies mentality.
Yeah, I went out there and I just kicked and kicked and kicked. It wasn't I wasn't really placing kicks. I was just kind of bombing them out there, kicking elbows and kicking. Yeah, Jordan knows you're supposed to
Everybody's first Thai fight without shin pads on and they don't place their kicks, and the next day they're like,
I was walking around like an old man. Like it was terrible.
They're just going the wrong way.
Yeah.
they look like the crippled dog in Family Guy.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that level of training helps with sobriety? Like it takes you into that dark place where it kind of transfers directly into hardship, or not really?
Yeah, you don't even like. Why would you want to drink on top of training like that? That's my.
It just gets in the way.
First thought. Yeah, it's like if you're training like that, drinking is just going to put you so far down below other people. And,
hinders fucking everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Like your body starts to get more inflamed.
Well, even right now.
Thinking straight. Like, it's like,
I have a CrossFit competition. It's my first ever CrossFit competition happening next Saturday.
All right.
And for the last month, I haven't been drinking because I'm like, I can't put my body through anything. Like I've been drinking and I'm like, I need my body to be, and I know a month compared to what you guys are doing is like not comparable, but I noticed that like if I were drinking over the weekends, I'm like, I'm literally not going to perform at my best come the competition. So yeah, drinking, I'm definitely on the sober curious train right now. I'm like, how long could I go without?
I heard you guys are going to try 365 days.
Yeah.
I put the word out.
Oh, you did?
I put the word out.
Today,
It's called accountability. The more you say it, the more accurate. We flirted with like, should we do a 90 and check in at 91 and say, do you want to do another 90? And not commit to that 365, because it feels a little bit more comfortable to say that.
Send it,
but also saying a year is just like.
Yeah.
I got a buddy taking a year off right now too, and he's like super enjoying it, and I didn't realize he was. And then like we started talking, and I was just like, yeah, you sound like you're like going through those motions of like that first year of like, fuck, everything is starting to feel so much better. Call it the pink cloud effect. Right at about 90 days is where it makes or breaks you. For me, it was 180 days for some reason. It kind of made or broke me, but I was also being prodded by the long dick of the law, so I had to keep going.
Like, move along.
So I had
You're
to
not
keep
done yet.
Whether I wanted to slip back into the mud or not, it was not a choice, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Personally, I kind of think my stars, that's how it went, because I'm pretty thankful for where things go, you know? But, like, look, all I got to say for it is if you're going to do this, just decide what you want out of it, right? And then create plans of action and play some tapes forward.
Yeah.
Good call.
And
No.
be willing to be like, okay, when we would normally do this, now we'll do this. Like, okay, I brought the hoppy hour, and like, you know, soda water is kind of one of my few like things where it's like, that's how I reward myself now. A book I read by somebody named Josh Corda called Unsubscribe. Look him up, Dharma Punks in New York City. You're welcome. For all 5 people who give a shit about this. I know I'm a popular guy. But he said, like, in the beginning, what he did was he created new reward systems. And I was reading this in my first 6 months, like, all right, how did this guy do it? Because he and I have a similar story, and I respect the fuck out of him, where it's just like, he was a heavy user. He would do all kinds of meditative, holistic practices, but wild in the use of stuff, right? And all that shit. And I was like, hey, I was meditating high on acid on beach all the time, baby. You know?
Counts.
Getting close to God. But what he said what helped him was creating those like reward systems. Like normally right now I'd have a beer or a shot or good old fashioned line, you know, but it's
Talk forever.
instead it's like, you know, maybe it's a tea or a coffee or like a something, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're going to do it, just from my perspective on like people who are sober curious, I always just say, like, make sure you create a reward system. Just that's the basic thing that you need for like the sober curiosity. I don't give that to my guys who need to be sober. They get a little harsher
Yeah, I imagine.
reality, but like, create a reward system and just keep going, you know?
Yes. Because
Also, desserts.
A little treat.
Dude, food has become my cardinal sin.
I was just about to say, so yesterday, because yesterday was Friday, and I was like, oh man, like, I just want to go, like, enjoy a pumpkin beer. Like, I was just like, I've had a long week, but I was like, I cannot do that right now because I don't.
Very white girl
like
of you.
I know, it's a very white girl of me, but
Little pumpkin spice on top, please.
that's my vice, is the pumpkin
Could
beer.
you put some pumpkin seeds in the pumpkin beer?
But anyway, yeah, I was just like wanting alcohol, and I was like telling him, I'm like, I don't know why I have this feeling like I really want it, but I know that if I have it, I'm going to want to like go out and party and like drink more, because I haven't, you know, for a little bit. I mean, only like 3-4 weeks, but still, like I
Things work
just,
differently though, because
Yeah.
you have a routine of behavior where it's the weekend. I have a routine of behavior where I quit nicotine recently, as in like 4 or 5 days ago, and I feel great now. Not that exciting, but in my drive into work, throw a little Zyn. At work during a meeting, I get a little shit-eating grin because I'm trying to hide it, and so.
and he looked stupid.
I did.
And so I'm like,
Yeah.
if you're going to be doing sales in front of people, you can't be having a fucking pouch in your
Would you like to
lip.
buy something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so getting rid of that's more of like a craving more so than like, oh, it's Friday, I'm ready to go.
We just tape ours to our gooches.
There you go. Just a little boof.
Wait,
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, a little Zin boo.
no. No.
No, not really. Are you
Rip
kidding
them
me?
up.
Zin in the foreskin. That's
It stings. Thankfully, I don't have it.
I can't put anything past you, George.
I know, because I have such ridiculous stories, pardon me, that it's like, I know when I say something that is definitely something I don't do, people are like, I kind of believe you.
I
It's
know.
like,
I
it
kinda
teeters on
believe it.
reality.
I'd like to just leave it at like a mystery and be like, man. Sorry.
I actually do.
You were saying.
No, but
I'd do Zins in the foreskin. Like, if you guys want more views, I could whip my cock out right now.
Oh my gosh.
throw it on OnlyFans.
Okay,
Hey,
I'm like, Shane.
I mean, I'm here to watch, but
Jordan's like not amused with that joke.
Your favorite OnlyFans.
I'm not
can
part of
whip
the
my
hooded
I'm
club,
like,
so I can't contribute, but it's okay. Yeah. I love the feeling of nicotine. That's like one of my favorite things, but
Yeah.
kind
But
of
going
an
back to
asshole
the
when I don't have
reward,
it.
the reward system, like, I mean, yesterday I ended up having like a bunch of like sweets because I was like, that's going to be my reward.
Root beer float.
Yeah. Or candy. Like I had candy, ice cream. Like I was just like going for it. And I'm like, but I don't know if that's like a healthier alternative for me. Like to just be going.
Once a week, I would do a whole tube of sweet tarts and a whole bag of sour gummy crawlers on my drive home, which is not long in Truckee, as we know.
Right.
And that would be done from gas station to house in 5 minutes.
No.
How's the crash on that?
Horrible, but like now I can't even because I train so much with them and I try and be a training partner and then I pretend like I have any chance of becoming anything in jiu-jitsu anymore. But
today,
yeah,
you beat my ass. So
whatever, dude, you're out of practice. You'd take you like a week.
Yeah.
God, you sat on me at one point. I was like, son of a bitch.
He's heavy.
yeah, I am.
But yeah, but it's like
Dense.
muscle. You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Boy. Anyway, but like, yeah, now it's just like I can't even have like specific sugary things or else I'm going to be sitting there just like, jittery. So, it starts out somewhere and, physiologically speaking, when you quit drinking, quite literally your body craves sugar because alcohol turns to sugar in your system, which is why you get, diabetics who were alcoholics because of how much they would drink. Also, people who quit drinking that have issues with gout, their gout will pretty
flare
much
up.
Disappear after drinking, after they quit drinking. Yeah. It'll flare up in the beginning because you got a lot of fucking detox to do, but if you have gout, it'll disappear pretty good. There's a lot of autoimmune diseases and a lot of autoimmune issues where if you just quit drinking and you'll notice just the physical benefits of it alone, which we do that in our program too. We talk very much about the scientific and the health benefits of it too, which I never really got a lot of in other places. We talked about the mental and the spiritual, which is really important, but the physical,
all the inflammation fucks up a lot in your body.
And it's like, how come how come people aren't talking about this? So we do talk about this stuff, but I interrupted your candy story, so keep going.
No, I was done with my candy story. I just really liked what you said about the reward system because I felt that yesterday. I was like, man, I want to reward myself by doing this, but so I'm just going to have ice cream instead.
Oh yeah. Before 2 Sundays ago, I had 6 ice cream sandwiches on the drive up from Safeway to my house.
See, you're
and
working
I had 6
out,
more when I got home.
But your metabolism's probably through the roof that if you have 6 ice cream sandwiches, you're not getting fat because of it,
I was a few pounds over and then I'm cutting weight right now to make sure I'm in the right zone for next weekend. But
yeah,
it's like, okay, I got one more day of this. We're going to go.
See, if I have 6 ice cream sandwiches,
6 ice cream sandwiches and a deep dish pizza, might add.
Yeah, no, I'd be I'm pregnant.
I feel bad for B. Those farts had to be brutal.
Anyway, he was out of town. That's why I did it.
Perfect. Yeah, just
that's why I did it.
It's yeah.
Oh my god.
We have 2 bathrooms. I go downstairs when I go to bad.
So tell me about this fight coming up, or it's a comp, right?
He has a fight. He has actual Muay Thai fights coming up. This is what matters a lot more than my 34-year-old ass still trying to try things. Let's talk about that. I'm doing a jiu-jitsu competition. Not a big deal. Let's talk about the kid who's up and coming.
Oh, he's doing a competition in Sacramento. No-gi, IBJJF.
Nice. But anyway,
Gi, yeah.
Muay Thai.
Are you allowed
Which
to
is super exciting.
Muay Thai purist in Reno.
Attaboy. Wait, are you allowed to heel hook at IBJJF?
No.
No, which sucks.
That is whack, and I'll use that word.
Pretty whack. IBJJF.
They're good people. Let's not talk shit.
Hey,
good people.
big fan of Naga.
Anyway,
love all my Nagas.
Let's talk about Muay Thai purist. He has to win on Saturday, so that way I can come corner on Sunday.
There you go. Okay.
Because I'll be
some more motivation.
And this is a straight up Muay Thai fight.
Yeah, it's actually a tournament, so it'll be pretty cool. I've never done a Muay Thai tournament, so I think the way it works is there's multiple brackets for each weight, and you'll fight the first day, and then you'll fight maybe twice the first day, and then you'll move on to the finals the next day. But yeah, we're wearing shin guards, which is pretty
zesty.
Oh man, I don't know. I would just
It's simple-minded. Keep going.
simpleton. But
It's safe.
It's safe. American. It's American.
Combat sport.
Shayne spends 6 months in Thailand, comes back, and now he's fucking,
Wait, they don't wear shin guards in Thailand?
No, even like.
So you're just like bare body?
Even like 5-year-old kids don't wear shin
Why are you
pads.
saying yes as if I know?
No, I'm just saying I've watched videos of them like destroying little kids' shins. They have.
Yeah.
What do they use? Because there's a lot. There's like bamboo sticks.
There's bamboo sticks. There's trees they kick. There's metal poles.
Yeah.
There's
Oh.
tires.
Yeah. The
there's
tires
a
look
lot of
awful.
roll your shins with like a glass bottle, kind of like you would a Louisville Slugger bat, bringing back the Louisville Slugger for those of you who want to call back.
Yeah.
So do they just look like they've been beaten? Like the bruises, the
Let's just say a
scars?
lot of the training methods in Thailand would not slide in America. I saw this like he had to be like 6 years old, get launched like teeps. Like a teep is like a push kick, like Sparta kick, like this is Sparta. You know? Like this kid he flew across the gym and he's just on the mat.
Oh.
And he's sitting there crying and I'm just hitting the bag. I'm like,
Not
get
my
in the bag,
problem.
not me, that's not me. And the trainer goes over to him, he's like, speaking to him in Thai, screaming at him. Like he's like, what are you doing? Why are you crying? That's
Pretty much
that's what
telling me that he's never going to make it to the X Games.
Yeah,
Damn.
basically.
Crushing
And then,
dreams one teep at a time.
you guys know like those metal ropes, like the speed ropes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if the kids weren't trying hard enough on sprints like up the hill, then this trainer would like put it in half and just
Whip them.
Oh my god. And you just see their back, like their backs and stuff would start bleeding, and their parents are watching. Sometimes their parents would be there, and they would just watch their kids get beat, like disciplined.
So how many of those kids make it out of the hood and are straight up savages that go on to win world titles?
I mean, look at Muay Thai. There's only a couple of champions at like every weight class, and there's RWS. There's like one championship.
But they also
there's all
fight so
Lupini,
frequently.
Muay Thai and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's
The
like
WBCs and everything.
WBC, yeah, there's WBC, but it's like there's not a lot of people that make it out the cuts, you know.
That's
There's only,
brutal.
Like
certain-
everything else, like there's, the cream of the crop, right?
Yeah.
You're like up here, you're the 5%, the 95% of you that don't make it. So, but like Muay Thai is life there too. Like,
Yeah.
I trained with a pretty hardcore Thai guy. And he would always just like Shayne finally, when he went to Thailand, he came back, he's like, everything you've ever said I didn't believe until I went there. And I was just like, well, everything I say just came from my old trainer, dude. And so anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so this thug ass event that you're participating in, is it round robin?
Yeah.
Two fights day one and then final fight. Day two.
it's taking pretty serious too, because there's like people coming out from other states.
Yeah, there'll be some gunslingers there.
Nice.
For sure.
And where's it hosted at?
At Reno, actually, the convention center. So
Fuck yeah.
that's actually going to be a sick event.
Okay, wait. What's
For
the
all you
dates?
followers.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, are you doing CrossFit at that convention center?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna.
Is it
do,
next Saturday?
Yeah, yeah. So what
Oh my
they're
God,
gonna
I'll see you there.
So what they're gonna do at this event is pretty sick, because they're gonna do medieval fighting. They're gonna do Muay Thai.
That's what they were telling
They're
me.
gonna do CrossFit. They're
Yo.
gonna do bodybuilding, whatever. Dude.
Yeah, no, but
Hold up,
bodybuilding.
dude.
will be
I
there.
can watch
I
that in
heard
another
there's
room.
gonna be like strippers there too. Like they have dancers
Yeah,
and
they
strippers.
they're having
Like it's a
bunch of-
whole. It's like a circus.
Wait, are there going to be stripper fights? Because I've seen
hope
these.
so.
They're
I don't.
awesome.
Bring the baby oil.
Dude, I was honestly interested.
I have a strip club story that you guys will love, and it's appropriate.
Tell me. I need to hear this strip.
I want to do that
story.
medieval fighting shit.
Wait,
like,
so
that
real
looks
quick,
cool.
before we get into the strip club, the medieval fighting, is that like jujitsu but also with swords and
No,
fucking
it's like
shields?
MMA with
MMA with,
it's
like,
MMA
full
with
light
swords.
out, like-
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Wait, I am so excited. I'm like
way
more
more
excited
stoked.
that you're going to be there too. So,
Yeah.
but is it Saturday, Sunday for you?
Yeah, it's a Legion Sport Fest. That's what it's called. So they're having all these events
Yeah.
in the same place.
Okay, because
So
my
you can walk around and you can watch Muay Thai. You walk around and watch CrossFit. You
Yeah.
watch medieval fighting. It's gonna be cool.
no, I'm super excited. It's my first ever like CrossFit competition, and
There's gonna be a lot of people there.
Just
yeah,
got way
and that's what
cooler.
they were telling me too, because I'm on a team with 2 other people, and they said it's going to be really loud, and we're going to have to communicate, and you're going to have to like pay attention as you're like doing the workout, because one person is always going to be resting, but the other person, if they ever are like if they need to rest too, you have to be like so aware, and you have to be screaming basically at each
Yeah.
other, which I'm not used to. It's like I'm used to just working out like by myself, not doing stuff in sync, which is like what the whole competition is all about. But my competition is called the unknown. So you don't find out until 10 minutes before the competition what the movements are.
Wow.
And it's like anywhere from like 7 to 8 minutes. But anyway, I'm like really scared actually. So I'm glad that there's going to be a lot of other stuff to keep me distracted. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing there.
Sync like baby bye bye bye.
No, like the gymnastics portion, when we're doing like pull-ups or toes to bar or muscle ups or anything, you have to do it in sync or else it doesn't count.
So it's like
if someone synchronize, or wall balls or whatever,
We do
burpees.
swimming.
Everybody down.
No, that's gay.
Hey, you know, sometimes you just gotta let your freak flag fly.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's super exciting. I didn't know that your competition was going to be there too.
Yeah,
so that's fun.
That's sick as fuck.
Like
Do you know who you're fighting? At least the first round?
As of right now, yeah, I know the first round. It's this guy out of Reno, Momentum Martial Arts. He's been to Thailand too.
I've trained at Momentum.
Yeah,
You'll be okay.
he's a lanky guy. He's a lanky guy.
This comes out after next Saturday.
He's a lanky guy.
I'm going to try and have it come out.
He's also been to Thailand.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like to get too into my opponents before I go out there, but I like
That's
to like
business.
Yeah, I like to do a quick like rinse over, you know. And he looks like he's more like a tactician, if that makes sense. Like he's not like a brawler banger kind of guy. He's like, oh, I'm doing this movement to make it look nice, things like that. Like
And Shayne's a hell of a brawler.
yeah, so it's gonna be a fun. Yeah, it's probably gonna be fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean he makes it look nice? Like
his technique is very good. Like my
Pretty.
Yeah.
There's such thing as pretty Muay Thai, and when you see it, you're like, God damn, that motherfucker can sling.
Yeah.
It's like everything lands well.
Yeah.
Fucking perfectionist.
and you're more like
weird,
of
but
like,
it's effective.
and then what would you say your style is?
I'd say my style ain't pretty.
Fight to the death.
Style ain't pretty at all.
You win and you go home in a stretcher.
I just remember seeing you at King of the Cage,
Shayne blocks
and
head
you were
kicks
just
with his
like,
forehead.
Yeah.
How's your shin feel?
Oh, man.
But you eat them, so you're fine. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk really quick, sorry, about the self-deprivation tank that you...
Sensory deprivation.
Oh, sensory. Self-deprivation. Oh my God. I'm like, what is that called? Okay,
Jordan's done it a lot, too.
sensory deprivation. So you guys go in there to literally think about the worst thing that can happen. So you're like overcoming your fear in this sensory
So a sensory
deprivation?
deprivation tank is essentially a pod with an insane amount of salt water in it. Like you float.
You float. Yeah.
Right? Pro tip, don't dip your fingers in the salt water and then touch your face for exfoliation, because if a little bit gets in your eye, then you're sitting there going,
And you don't get anything out of it.
and yours truly did that once. Anyway, but you go in there and it's just like a meditative session.
Okay.
Right? When I lived in Portland's like the mecca of it, so like I've done it quite a lot, and I've done it under altered states as well. You get plenty out of it when you're just sober, by the way. So if you need the altered state, there's something wrong with you. Just kidding. There's nothing wrong with you. You need help, call me.
Business is
Call
booming.
me.
There's a spot actually in Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Healing One.
Yep.
It's pretty dope.
Oh,
But Shayne did it for his fight, so he can talk you through that specifically.
yeah. So what do you, like, how do you meditate?
How to meditate.
I don't know how to meditate at all.
I do a lot of like visualization. You know,
Picturing dudes.
Hell of a word.
Visualization.
So you're visualizing your fights.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just picturing the movements, picturing an opponent in front of me, trying to take my head off as much as I'm trying to take his head off. But also like just trying to calm myself down, because a lot of times before like even just a competition, you get a little too amped up and then you don't perform at the level that you would like. I feel like it's important to know what's in front of you, but also not to get too excited about it, because when those lights are shining on you, it does get pretty scary sometimes, because nobody's out there, nobody's gonna come save you. I mean,
Yeah.
You're in a cage.
Yeah, you're in a cage or a ring and you're fighting. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like,
When you visualize a fight, are you visualizing only positive or also negative?
no, you can't just visualize positive.
Okay, good.
I don't believe in that because you never know what's going to happen in a fight. Of course, I want myself to lean more on the positives because that's how you want the fight to turn out.
Yeah.
But you do have to think about the negatives because I feel like if you don't balance that, then you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're sitting here like, oh yeah, I'm gonna knock this guy out, like, and there's no chance that he's gonna knock me out, then it's like, come on, dude, it's a fight. Like, anything can happen. He can land a lucky punch. You can land a lucky punch. He can slip and eat a knee. Like, it's
So
Definition playing the safe forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What's like the biggest fear that you guys both try to confront with fighting? Like-
staying away from like injuries. I mean, being injured is honestly like being cut or something I don't really worry about. I'm like, whatever, like it's my face. I can get that stitched up. It's not the end of the world, but like a torn ACL or
Time
like,
off.
yeah, like time off, that's what scares me because it's like that's when I hate when I'm not able to train. Like I'll still be in the gym, but I hate when I'm not able to train at my fullest capacity. You know?
Yeah, pain, like getting hurt is the worst.
Yeah.
You know, like last February we did like grappling industries and I didn't stretch out or anything, and apparently my T-band had been fusing my thigh without me knowing from just allowing leg kicks to happen because I'm like, well, I got legs of steel.
Skateboarding too.
Kick me as hard as you want, whatever, which is a smart way to go about it. And so like I didn't stretch out, didn't warm up, walked right into my first match, went to knee cut and something went pop. And then I had to rehab my knee. I did active recovery and everything else, but I essentially like pretty much like ripped the T-band that goes over my knee. And so I had to do a bunch of stuff. Shout out to Active Motion Therapy in Truckee for getting me on the good stuff as far as movement and everything else for that.
Okay.
But then I couldn't snowboard for like a couple weeks, and that really fucking ruffled my feathers a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we did a sub-only tournament in July, and somebody ripped on my elbow, and then I was having a hard time getting back in training and some other movement and shit, and I still can't totally touch my shoulder. Like I can there.
Oh, interesting.
But it's also the elbow I've had reconstructed due to skateboarding, so like he got me.
So it could be a couple different things.
Yeah, it could be a few things, you know. But like that sucks the worst. But like for me personally, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so like let's fucking party. And I'm not allowed to fight like fisticuffs anymore of any kind because I made the deal with B about like no more head injuries. Because I walk into anything. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm stupid enough to just be like, I know I'll stay standing.
Yeah.
Which is not a good way to be as a fighter, especially when you're 34 years old, which means like in 5 years, I'm on the way out. But
And
Back in my
you have a
day.
daughter.
yeah, so I got to be a functional dad. So
Yeah.
like, but you know, I would say like, you asked what fear we're facing, getting hurt. I would say what we're dealing with inside is like, I would say anybody who fights and trains and does what we like to do, Mike likes to do it too. There's just a part of you that can't be satiated any other way. And I would say it's in predominance of society, but people get so watered down with just being mellow. I don't get it. But
How are you so chill?
like, you know, there's a part of you that just, you get to let loose, and it's just like we talked about my thing, which was called Bones, and like I've definitely taken that part of me and I've refocused it, right? And I think that helps people continue to normalize and realize and be better people too. I mean, dude, you've never met anyone nicer than people who train fighting, because we quite literally understand what it fucking feels like to get punched, get hit, get submitted, all that shit. We know. So the last person you're gonna see at a bar or in an outing, look, a tough guy, is the guy with like some swollen ears or that trains, you know, like even if they got a beanie on, like we're the first people to be like, no problem. This sounds like I could get injured.
Yeah.
You know?
Time off the mats. No.
But it keeps you grounded, which is another thing we did in the emotion regulations was grounding techniques, right? Call all the way back to that one. But it helps people, and people who are like, oh, it's just a bunch of tough guys getting together. It's like, yeah, have you been to a gym? We're a bunch of fucking dorks.
Yeah.
Like, we are all
You guys are
dorks.
a very friendly community, I have to say.
Yeah.
Especially compared to CrossFit. I know that CrossFit can be very cliquey. I think it depends on the gym, because I feel like the Truckee Jiu-Jitsu gym, like your guys' gym that you're at, is probably the most friendly.
Oh, yeah.
I've said this plenty online and in our posts and everything else, and I've trained a lot of different places, and I've never had that kind of family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it took me getting sober and then going back and training to realize I had like family and friends in that community and not just people I trained with, because I was used to that in other places.
Yeah.
Like, it took that for me to be like, holy fuck, these people give a shit. Like, so yeah, I would say for sure, like, what's been built out there, shouts out to, like, Adam built something special, and he continues to, and the more iterations, the more it's just like, holy fuck, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. By the way, that third special guest was going to be Adam.
We need another mic, but Adam is definitely going to be on the podcast.
I was going to say,
We were going to
just
do like a
something.
solo episode with him.
That might be tough.
You can't talk about a lot.
Can't talk about a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Well, then what would he talk about if he came
No
on?
idea.
Talk about the gym.
Well, we were going to talk about the gym and the fact that he coaches like somebody his age that like looks up to him.
Well, share it. Yeah, you talk about the gym then.
Yeah, I mean the gym's awesome. Like, there's a big reason I've worked it, and Adam, like, not up until recently, where everything started to actually even out, and I wasn't paying all the bills. Like, Adam was he was giving us donation time, like donation everything. And then, because we're 501c3, we're trading donation for write-off. And now I got to a point where I just was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. You're donating a lot. And so we have a new deal, which is really great. He gives us, really good hookup. And he just gives a shit. Like, he cares. He looks out for people. Like, he checks in on you. When I said I was going to rehab, I just like sent him a message like, I'm gonna be gone for 35 days going to rehab. And he was like, fuck yeah, man. Because apparently he was going to have a conversation with me, but like, why you keep showing up drunk to work, to fucking practice? And I was just
to
like,
work and practice.
Well, yeah, I'm not dealing with a lot of emotional things, but he gives a fuck. Like, he really does care. And like, when Shayne was getting sober and everything else too, and there were some, he had some stuff where he was like, do you think Adam gives a shit? I was like, Adam treats you that way because he cares. And that like started to click for him. I was like, the people who are the hardest on you, the people who will push you the strongest, they care the most because they know what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're calling you to that higher self.
Exactly. And that's what he's doing for you, man. And that, like, I mean, even Shayne will get one set of workout, and then everybody else in Muay Thai class gets a completely different set of workouts, right? And that's just the way it is, because it's like different, echelon, different, like,
Levels.
ways of holding
Yeah.
people to different things. He wants to become a fighter. Okay, let's fucking put you on the coals and see how well you burn. Just like his crew out in Thailand. He gives a shit. And that's kind of like when you become a crew in Muay Thai, like that's like becoming like coral belt in jiu-jitsu, which is the red belt above the black belt, like grandmaster. So like you become a crew, and that just means like you have proven time and time again you look out for fighters through and through, and that you give a fuck. It's more than just like skill. It's the whole bundle. And fuck, dude, Adam's the same way. He's the package deal. He gives a shit. He nerds out on it. It's cool to talk to him because it's like I replaced a lot of like my skateboarding like intensity over into that, obviously, because fighting hurts less than skateboarding.
Concrete is stagnant.
Concrete hits real hard. But
Forgive.
we nerd out on it, and then like it's just like even when you think you know something, you go to Adam, and he's just like a computer. Like he's so much.
He's like a Danaher Jr.
Yeah,
He's brilliant,
Yeah.
and like even I train with him, and like I'll learn something, and like I just like pay attention to the way he does stuff, because like he's won lots of accolades even as a fighter and like as a fucking practitioner. So like you listen to somebody like that, and you learn, then you just become better. And he created that also, like the thing where it's not like, oh, he's a big scary guy. He's just like a very approachable, chill dude. Like,
Yeah.
everybody in
100%.
there, you know? And that's something that's great. Like, even Jay Lukes, who's like the most unapproachable guy in the gym, when he found out what I was doing, he was the first guy to come to me and be like, I want to participate in this. And like, Jay wasn't getting paid for like the first few months of opening our outpatient either. He's like, don't worry about paying me. We ended up back paying him, you know, for his time. But like every fucking Monday morning, Jay beats me to the gym. He's there at like 6:30, 6:45, ready to go. Like we roll in at like 6:55 to 7:05 Truckee time, and like he's ready to go. And he's got everybody on. He's ready to roll. Like everybody in there gives a shit. Like legitimately.
Yeah, it seems like it's a community that just cares. And I mean, I think any fitness community, any kind of like fitness cult has a similar outlook with each other. Like, I mean, I know that at CrossFit, if you don't show up, it's like they notice.
Jay's also part of CrossFit in Truckee.
Yeah.
So he has like that same mentality probably.
He's been coming to the gym more lately though.
He's a gangster.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think I have heard of Jay. I think he went
Jay's
to
a
Dream
50-year-old explosive
Yeah.
mother trucker.
Yeah, Jay's dope. He used to hate me.
Oh.
No, probably. not.
He's told me to my face that he did not like me. Like
Yeah, the same.
he admitted, he was like, yeah, dude, I used to despise when you showed up at the gym.
Why?
Hilarious.
Because
Jay owns a German Shepherd, and Jay is a German Shepherd.
Got it.
He is focused, and anything that distracts from that focus and that attention.
So you were
that
distracting.
time. We were a couple of goof offs.
Got it.
Fun.
I was showing up drunk. He was showing up like depending on the day, depending on the mood.
Yeah.
You know, whatever way the wind was blowing, Shayne was going that way.
Sometimes you just show up
Shayne was
angry.
going that
And if you were downwind from me, you smelled some booze. Sorry.
Is he sober? Like
Yeah.
are a lot of people?
Yeah, everybody in my program's sober. This new lady we have is the shit. Lorraine's awesome, you know, and we're working through a lot of the minutia with her. She actually as a professor at a recovery college down in the Palm Desert area. She's ran programs a lot. She's got like 30 years of recovery specific, like clinical direction. So like she's the shit. So like I'm just gonna speak positively towards what we got going.
Yeah.
You got the coral belt of clinical directors.
She's fucking rad, dude.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't live in Truckee, unfortunately, but like it's slim pickings up there. And like I said, everybody up there is fuck you pay me because it's expensive to live up there. So it's understandable. I'm not saying that's a negative thing. Like,
Yeah.
dude, if you offer a service, fucking get yours, right? You're
Yeah.
working. It's just like when people are like, oh, recovery places are such fucking scams. It's like, no, it's not. And that's also a big reason why I'm so adamant about like, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's like,
There's, like,
everybody
a
thinks
lot
I'm
of-
trying to scam people here, so like, look at me and don't fucking scam me. And if I can see it, like, in the movie Role Models, don't bullshit the bullshitter. Now that I'm in that position, I fully understand what the fuck that whole comedy skit's about. Like, because I'm right there too. I'm like,
Can't
yeah,
bullshit a bullshit.
you cannot bullshit the bullshitters. It's literally like, we had somebody recently come in and like, the kid's like reporting to his accountability human beings. That's just how we have to say that. But he's bored and he was triggered in the meeting, and I'm over in the corner. I'm like, he's just saying this shit so that way he gets less time in the program because he's dealing with some legal stuff. And I don't really give a fuck because guess what, dude? Like, you're here by core mandation, and I'm gonna give you 110% whether you like it or not. And if you leave and you end up using again, which I believe you probably will, I'll be here, or hopefully you find it some other way, but hopefully maybe I can convince you that perhaps you should rethink your relationship to substances. And maybe you also need to really rethink your relationship to downtime, which is triggering for a lot of people, especially up there. Like, we're all adrenaline junkies,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
becomes escapism.
Downtime is like, well, I know how to solve downtime. White lightning, right? You know, whatever that white lightning might
Comes
be.
uptime.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that, and being somebody who always cured my downtime with fucking uptime.
Yeah.
And then uptime when I wanted to be downtime, and then uptime 3 more days. You know, I get it. You know, I've literally lived multiple eras of addiction in my life to the point where it's just like, it doesn't, I've been like a successful drug dealer. I've been the bum on the beach that lives out of a van. I've been the college kid. I've been the fucking guy who works like, you know, on an executive team, and my boss does coke off his desk and offers me some kind of a thing. I've done cocaine and then gone into board meetings, as we talked about last time. I've literally lived, like, I always say, I'm like, if cats have 9 lives, I'm on Loki number 13. You know, and I gotta write this one out because I don't think I get any after this.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the same concept. Like, so we get these people and you just have to be real with them, because if they're not real, and we had somebody recently where I was very real with his parents, accountability people, but whatever. And I was very real with some other people who were bringing them to us. And I was just like, I don't see it in them. I'm sorry, I don't.
Wow.
I feel like you guys, I told them, I was like, I feel like you've enabled him too much. You guys don't give him enough tough love, and I don't see it in him. And they're like, well, just try. And we tried for a week, and that person couldn't make it from walking from our office back to their house without stealing out of somebody's purse and attempting to purchase alcohol. And then the people who were his accountability folks tried to blame me for it. And I was just like, okay, I had to wash my hands clean and walk away.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so fucking frustrating.
You can produce a great program and people will still mess up, right?
Yeah.
Because they're humans. You can't sit on somebody and force them into anything. At the end of the day, human nature is human nature, and what you want is what you'll get. But I'm here to tell you, as somebody who had lots of wiggle room and wiggled every time, and then finally, like, even now when I get wiggle room, like, I wanted it because I finally decided, like, I had a lot of good that I could be, and that all I've done is feed a lot of bad. And it's just like everything from my mental health to my emotional health to my fucking familial health to my friendships to everything was constantly in a struggle because I was constantly poisoning it with substance. And so I can tell you from personal experience and then personal observation afterwards that if you put in the time, you put in the effort, and you work on your gratitude and you work on your mental and emotional states and you work towards PMA, dude, I wake up so many days where I'm like, fuck the world, eat shit. You know? Right? Like, we talk about this a lot. Like, Shayne's there, and he comes to me and I'm like, dude, same.
Yeah.
You know, but what you got to do is you got to be willing to observe your thoughts and not become a slave to them, right? Oh, fuck, I forgot the book, dude. I just read Dr. Gabriel Matei's Myth of Normal. I'm giving a lot of book shout outs here.
We're going to have to put like a list.
Take my payment in Bitcoin. No.
From 10 years ago, preferably.
And it was really cool because he was talking about, at the end of the book, The Myth of Normal, by the way, is a 600-page long haul, but it's fucking brilliant, and it's amazing what, like, my mind, like, every time I was flipping the page, was just constantly blown, you know? But he said, like, he with his own journey and things, he said I'm gonna butcher this, but he said it's not in the aha moment, but it's in the rising of the consciousness to understand that the mind is not the consciousness or something like that, but the consciousness contains the mind but is not the mind, right? So, like, the thoughts you have are not who you are,
right? It's
the thoughts you attach to. And I talk about that a lot. Like, this is one of our, like, core concepts in our program is the mind observed, objectively participating in your mental and emotional and physical and everything experience, your holistic human experience, to observe and be like, okay, that feels like that, which is triggering this, which is making that happen, which that, after play the tape forward, then you start marching backwards even more because you dig deeper and you learn. And the better you get at things, the more you realize this is going to happen, that's going to happen, now this is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So, long story short, and, like, you know, Shayne's learning all this, and he's also very akin to it. Like, I watch him do it naturally, and then he comes to me, he's like, well, this will happen, then that'll happen, then I'll notice this, and I'll be like, yeah, that's the process. Yeah. So, like, you know, he's going to start schooling, and I'm exiting schooling and getting my counseling license here, like, very soon, and he's entering into it, and, like, you know, then he'll start to be like, oh, and okay, I'll shout out Huberman right now, but, like, he literally did a thing about knowledge and, like, he mentioned quite literally that it's scientifically proven that the more you know, the more successful you are to become in not falling for specific things. So quite literally, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
When it comes to addiction and recovery, it's like, oh,
being trapped.
I understand this about me, so then I understand that about me. And like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, can I go to a bar? And I'm like, you shouldn't go to a bar. You shouldn't even fucking be in like a place where you could potentially be triggered for a year. Like, you should really take that year and be willing to be like, can't go out.
Get the behaviors.
Can't go do that.
Dialed in first.
Need to go to like the gym. Need to make sure people come to my house. I can have dinners, things like that. You know, we have guys in our program where they have boundaries with people in their life where they're just not allowed to drink around them right now because that is a triggering reality for them, right? And that's okay. That's okay. You know what? If you know somebody and you brought them to us and you want them to recover, then guess what? You can participate in this as well.
Yeah.
And it's not, and we don't do a lot of blaming. We do a lot of like explanation and like kind of just, hey, don't blame them for it, but understand that this is why you feel this way. Mm-hmm. But it's not their fault because they weren't necessarily trying to fuck you up. You know, they were doing the best they had with what they had.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like parents.
Exactly. Like, and I deal with a lot of this right now, and I've written a lot about this just in my own personal thing about like, you know, even with my mom and how like, you know, tough she was. Like, my mom was the hammer and my dad was the soft glove in my childhood, and how much I appreciate the fact that I even had both of those, and I don't hold it against her, right? You know, all that diatribe aside, yeah. So like, that's what you got to do. And, you know, it's all here. You just have to figure out, and you have to learn. And if you don't have people to help you, like, hey, I want you to learn Muay Thai. Go start kicking and punching that bag. You'll figure it out, right?
Doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't, does it? So that's why people are like, oh, recovery, it's easy. You just go to meetings, blah, blah, blah. Well, in those recovery meetings, you got a lot of blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And nothing against those meetings. They do a lot of great work. They give a place for people to go to. But if you, and we say this all the time, and nothing against them, and I've known people in the many different recovery rooms I've been in where it's like, if I don't make this meeting every day, I know I'll use 35 years sober. It's like, well, you're sober, but you're not recovered.
Doesn't sound like it, 'cause that's contingencies right there.
You want recovery. You want like sober rooms for me have turned into like my new bars. Like, I feel like being social today. I'll go see what's going on. Sometimes I'm like, whew. You know, and other days I'm like, oh, I got something out of that. Like, to this day, I still got from this one group, you know, GOD, Great Outdoors. Mm-hmm. Hey, I use that all the time, right? But, you know, other days you're just like, okay, that was fun. I need coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and again, nothing against anybody. Everybody's doing their own thing, right? But we focus on recovery. How do you get recovery? Mind, body, spirit, you know, life.
Yeah.
Figuring out life. And I say this in the way of like, you know, turn your life into the life you want, where you sit back and you go, my life is rad. You lay in bed and you go, thank you. Mm-hmm. You know, you go to your higher power, or you go to yourself and you say, thank you for this. And you sit at the end of the day and you look at everything that's going right and you say, thank you for that in your head. Mm-hmm. And the more you do that in the day, in the evening and in the morning, I do it every evening and every morning. And sometimes while I'm driving to work, when there's a nice sunrise, which is 99% of the time in Truckee, and I'm just like, holy fuck, I'm blessed. And I'm sitting there just saying thank you, rather than being like, oh, things aren't going my way today. You know,
Go back to gratitude. It seems like gratitude's like a foundational practice
huge.
that you have to have.
It's huge. You have to
Recovery.
have it. Most people in recovery are negative as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you a question about the ranch in general. What do you guys need right now?
We need to get grant funds so that we can treat people for free and not on anybody's dime. I'll just say this, like, I didn't get a lot of grant funding last year. I didn't get a lot of donations. The donations and grant funds we did get went directly into the fund, but I had to end up selling an old 401k and using that and giving it to the business that, like, you know, good solid chunk of change, because like that was the only way we were paying our bills, paying our clinical director at the time. B and I were working for free. I mean, I still work for free. This is my company. I swallow the biggest sword by just being like, everybody else eats before me. You know, we So if we can like keep the lights on and get like people's hours covered, you know, Shayne, he gets a small stipend plus like nothing in as far as food, room, and board is at all. His education's paid for too. Like that's only fair. He's giving us 6 days a week.
Yeah,
right?
it's huge.
You know, it's only fair, right? Like if I were to be paying him hourly, I would be giving him probably even less than is possible to live in Truckee. So it's like, first of all, okay, let's meet this where rubber meets the road. Let's talk about actually giving people a chance, including Shayne, who wants to continue down the fight path.
Right.
Where as a training fighter, like more early morning and afternoon training and coaching works well. And then the other guy's there in the middle of the day, and I'm available in the middle of the day because both my office and house are not far away from where the house is. And so it's like, you know, we do a good like
rotation.
Those cups on the street, you know.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
It's like a
doing a lot of
three-card
shifting
Monty.
and moving. Like, all right, then it's just constant plate spinning, and it's a lot of hurry up and just like, all right, you got to be willing to roll with the punches immediately. Like, hey, I got to go, or blah 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 blah. It's like, all right, I'm there. You know, it's a lot of that. I have a lot of great autonomy with the job I work at Elements, where like, and the person I work for, Jamie, she's nothing but a fucking firecracker herself. That lady has way too much to do all the time too. She's starting a coffee shop, bought the bottle shop, and then, you know, does the Truckee Music Fest that happened this last year and runs Elements Mountain Company. Like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, she's fucking badass. So like, you know, and now that I run my own thing, like my empathy towards like how short she is with me, where back in the day it was like, why is she being such a bitch? Now I'm like,
Now it all
you
checks
get it.
out. You're like,
Yeah.
it's just short. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah.
But you know, I just feel like, what the fuck? And now I'm like, I get it. Like, and she asked me things, I'm just like, whatever, I'll do it. Whatever,
Yeah.
you know, like back in the day, I'd be like, what the fuck? You didn't say please. She doesn't have time for please, okay?
Yeah.
Like, calm down. She's got like 8 businesses to run plus a family to raise. Like,
Right.
chill yourself
lot.
out. Yeah. And so empathy too. Empathy's a big one. Gratitude's a big one. I would say those are 2 of the biggest ones. And like gratitude for what's going well. And then you start with empathy for yourself before you start with empathy for anybody else. Because if you can have empathy here, how's the forest fire start, Shayne? Yeah, he's not listening. From the middle. Say it in the microphone.
From the middle. From the center.
Way to say that like a way to say that like a radio host. Starts in the center and moves out. Anyway, I'm diatribing.
So specifically, when you need grants, you need funding, you need donations, is there a specific number that comes to mind of like bills are paid, we're good for the next 12 months, 24 months? What is that?
So like a 90-day program for us is significantly cheaper than a 30-day program.
Well, I was just going to say, it seems like with the outpatient program, like there's a lot that maybe you did not realize was going into it, like the medical notes, like that is on a whole nother level. And it seems like you would need staff to be trained on that. And you also just need more
Shayne has
staff.
Yeah.
Like it seems like there's so much
Wrong staff.
growth. It seems like there's so much growth to be had, which is also really exciting.
Exciting and nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot to manage. Like, okay, yeah, I'm doing it, and it's like, well, there's a lot of growth because nobody else is in there. Well, anybody could come in at any time.
Yeah.
First of all, second of all, you know, good. The area needs it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say too much right now, but we're working on expansion into other areas of the lake as we speak.
Yeah.
I would love to be kind of the person, but if somebody else comes in, call me.
Right.
I'll fucking hook you up with people you need to talk to. I'll let you know how it's done. Or if you want to start your own thing, call me. I'll let you know how to do it, because it was a pain in the ass. And somebody helped me out. Why would I not help somebody else out?
Yeah.
You know?
And how do people get in touch with you guys in order to donate? Where do they go?
crowsnestranch.org. Hello at crowsnestranch.org. Google Business has a not-for-profit section, apparently. I just learned about this. So, like, we get a significantly less monthly fee because we're not-for-profit. So, figured that out and recently did that. So, hello at crowsnestranch.org. There's a donate button in quite a few different places on the website. So, if you can't find that, I mean, dude.
You got it like 6 different spots.
I put it everywhere. Instagram, social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, X, aka Twitter, Threads. LinkedIn, if you do that, like we have a LinkedIn. I don't know. We don't have an OnlyFans. That'd be weird.
Be a good way to pay the bills. Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, so all that aside, like we really do want to get to a point where we can offer quite a few people a night every 90 days, like free tuition, because in Truckee, we have that weird reality where it's a very rich society, but it's also a very poor society, because even if you make good money there, it's still shit money there, because
it goes
Jesus
this far.
Christ, dude, $6.50 a fucking gallon. Are you kidding me? I'm filling up before we leave here.
Yeah,
You should.
Yeah. Like, every time I come to Reno, I'm like, all right, I need more gas.
Groceries, gas, everything.
Yeah, like that's what Brianna's doing right now. Fucking filling up on groceries and hopefully gas. Hopefully she got the gas. I doubt it. But, it's the reality. Shayne we couldn't afford to pay Shayne to live on his own. So we were like, how do we make sure that Shayne feels stroked and stoked, right? Which sounds, it sounds what it is.
Do you need some extra help?
Yeah. we borrowed some baby oil from Diddy.
Nice. Plenty to go around. It's
But
fine.
no,
Thousands of bottles.
we do that. Like, the amount of stuff that I have been very close-lipped about, just because I don't really have the time to get on my fucking milk crate and be like, hey, love me. Mm-hmm. And also B, it's just no offense, but this is how I want to run it, whether you care or not. And at this point, it's just we're doing a lot and we're going to keep doing a lot. And it's by any means necessary for me, which is why I was like, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to dig into a 401k. I've been rat holing forever, and I'm going to use it to fund this company. And so I did. And it's paying for itself now. At least it's breaking even, but still we get it, whether it's breaking even or not, with the people who are coming to us with insurance. A lot of people only have Medi-Cal in that place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They do not have jobs with benefits,
Yeah, it's a lot of service industry.
Shitload of service industry.
Part-time, just piecing together as many hours as you can get. Yeah.
The rich people up there don't want to make their own shit. They don't want to pick up their own garbage, and those people are generally who need it the most help. And it's just okay, well then are you at least going to help them make sure that they can stick around with a good livable wage? And I go, fuck yourself? Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
So, and I'm not going to get down that rabbit hole, and I know that politics and all that stuff is quite literally way more than I have depth for. But, at the end of the day, if we can help people and we can keep them local. We had somebody who is a director of a program at one of the largest medical providers in the Tahoe National Forest. I'm not allowed to say their name for other reasons. Quite literally said to me that there is a shitload of people who are local that just want to recover local and stay local, but there's no option for it.
So they're moving.
So they're moving, or they're going off hill. People are being displaced, or they're just still gone.
I was gonna say not recovering.
Right. Yeah. And I got a guy who comes into my meetings because we do free meetings. We're actually opening up and expanding. We're going to have a breathwork meeting on Thursday nights run by Eli Osborne and Murray. Boom. A shout out for somebody I do work with, finally.
Fuck yeah.
That'll be happening. You Are Your Own Medicine. Look him up on Instagram. You Are Your Own Medicine. He'll be doing Thursday night breathworks, community only, community donation based kind of a meeting, just like all other recovery meetings. He's a licensed breathwork instructor. One of the co-manager, he's going to be starting a Dharma meeting, 7.5 years practicing Buddhist with a vow of nonviolence, which really ruffles his feathers when he has to come to martial arts in the morning. We're like, hey, you let the animal out of the cage and then you put it back in.
Put a shock collar on him.
It doesn't really ruffle him. He has a good time, and he's a good dude. He's got a real tattered past himself, and he's an amazing human. Came out of incarceration recently, and dude, I mean, he's more educated than I am on stuff. So he was supposed to come out and just be part of the program, and I'm like, I kind of want to offer you a job, man. You know, so we're working through that minutia right now. But yeah, it's weird. The more I say yes to certain things that seem other people might say no to, the better it's helped me out. This guy called me and was like, I don't have a lot of money. I'll put it down deposit, and once I get a job, I'll start paying. And I was just like, you know what, man? And in my head, I was like, I'm not even going to take his money. Why don't you just come up here? We'll have a bed for you. And gets up here because I'd also seen on the emails, all of his experience and everything, I'm kind of jumping timelines back and forth here, but I'd seen all of his experience and everything, and in my head, I was like, I'm probably just going to hire this guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was coming out of a sober living, and before that, he was coming out of a cell. And, you know, he used to live up here, and he fucking loved it up here, and it was the one place he remembered being happy. And I was just like, you know what, dude, sounds like why I moved to Truckee, too, was because, like, I'm always happiest in the mountains or at the beach, and the beach is too goddamn expensive.
Yeah.
Mountains ain't exactly cheap either, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know, but
There's a reason we're in Reno.
yeah, so, you know,
I get it.
we're working our tails off here, and I'm not complaining because it'll still happen. Whether people give me the support or not, I'll figure it out. I'm like an uncaged animal with this stuff, you know. That bone that I used to have that was the fucking fiend for drugs and alcohol is now the fiend to do this.
Yeah.
And I've redirected that energy, and very heavily so. And, you know, make or break, you know. Some people are like, well, be careful with your own recovery. And I'm like, bitch, I already got that unlocked. Like, if it fails, it fails. I tried. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I deal with failure every day. I get submitted by kids who are like 24 and read Harry Potter. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That one hit deep today.
Right? Hey, I'm 34 and I don't read Harry Potter.
Right.
I don't read.
I can see that in you, Jordan. I feel like from all the people that I have met that have like started businesses, I feel like you just are someone that shows grit, which is everything that you need to just keep going.
It's another big part of our program, by the way, is grit. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'll take some compliments now.
Well, I'm just saying that I think that you are someone that is clearly making a change. You have such a positive impact already on the people that you are working with. And I mean, even with Shayne, it's like you say that Shayne's a natural born leader. And I do think that part is also because of you, because you've been a mentor to him. And so what you are creating in Truckee, I think that community needs so bad. Tahoe in general needs a sober living community, and they need it to work and function and be successful. And I feel like you are going to make it that no matter what.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, look, you want to knock down a big tree, you got to carry a big axe. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've carried big axes in many other ways. And like, this is the one time where I'm like, this axe is not falling off my shoulders. I've started other businesses and they fucking failed gloriously.
That's part of learning.
You're like, you're
know?
making this work and you have such a passion for it. And again, like with the grit and passion and everything, this is your life.
But also,
this is literally your life.
Also, I have to give credit to everybody that's been there for me.
Yeah.
It's not just me. I know that. Like, everybody that works with me, you guys giving me the fucking fair shake, being your first visitor.
Yep.
Shayne being willing to like take a leap into a place unknown where he wasn't sure if he wanted to do that. The people who rent to me, Elevated taking the chance on me, the coaches taking the chance on me. Like Jay and Carrie are together. They're like husband and wife without being husband and wife. She's our yoga teacher. And they both were like, whatever you need, we're here for. And I was like, holy fuck, like, damn. Like, so I've gotten a lot of people with their hand out a lot. Like, oh, like, what can you do to help me? And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk about them. The people who I'm going to talk about have their hand in, and they've been awesome. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm going to keep talking about anybody who puts their hand in. Another group that's been super helpful and, you know, it's been a get to know you process 100% is the Truckee Tahoe Community Foundation. And this last grant cycle, dude, they've been helping me all the way through. Any questions I have, they're like, we'll help you, we'll help you, we'll help you, we'll help
awesome.
you, we'll answer for you. They've literally just been holding my hand through the tunnel right now
that's
and all
amazing.
that. So like, shout out to them. The Martis Fund lady who said, don't use ChatGPT, and I did. But she's helping me, you know. Amy Kelly, I believe her name is, Phyllis McCon at the Truckee Tahoe Community Foundation, you know, all these different people. Brianna, you know, she has been a fucking rock in this, dude. Like, she was an admin person for a bunch of other stuff and like wasn't even totally sold she wanted to do this until like started getting into it. And because of like issues in her own past and then like in her family, it inspired her. Like, she started working with people and now it's like lit a fire under her ass. Like, ask Shayne. I'm not the mean one. She's the hammer. Everybody comes to me for the glove.
Damn.
he gets down on especially the guys.
Yeah,
Really?
she's a
Well, you need someone like that.
right.
Yes, but she does it in a great way. Like they look up to her. They respect
Yeah.
her, so.
Well, they probably need like a female influence like that in their life too.
Strong female role.
Yeah.
Bee's a strong woman. Like, first of all, I don't know if like the average Karen type girl would survive a relationship with me.
I don't think that would work.
You know,
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I need a girl with some armpit hair and they can put you in a choke.
You can strangle you and be like, it's bedtime, bitch.
She's got armpit hair and she's a blue belt, dude. What
Yeah.
can I say? Well, it doesn't matter.
He's a badass.
She's a fucking gnarly chick and she handles it with grace, you know? I mean, admittedly, like, I am a tough human to have to live with 24/7. Like, why are you up at 5 a.m.? I don't know. I'm gonna go downstairs and do yoga. Leave me alone. You know? Like,
Well,
can't you see?
I feel like you guys are a power couple, and what you guys are both, I mean, just the community that you've created and everyone who has their hand in it. I see this only being successful. It's just probably really frustrating to be going through all the challenges that you're facing right now. But I mean, look at where you even are now from like a year ago when we talked to you. Like there's so
Yeah.
much growth that has already happened
Full
that
strides. Yeah.
it just seems like it's on the right track. It's right there.
Well, it's because everybody's helped me. People have been there for me.
Yeah.
I didn't do it on my own.
Yeah.
Period.
There's one thing that I notice success-wise across businesses in general too, which is this is going to happen with or without you. You can either be a part of it or not, but we'd love if you were a part of it. That seems to be kind of your angle too.
There's a famous saying that came out of a skateboard magazine when I was younger. It said, "Get with it or get rolled over by it." And it's been just a motto ever since. Like, either get with it or get rolled over by it, baby. Like, it's
Yeah.
happening. But it's happening because, A, I've noticed that, like, people need it. It's happening. B, because I've got a lot of support and people have been there for me. And C, because, like, I've got people like Shayne and, like, everybody else who give a shit. Like, they give a fuck. And, like, if you don't, then it's not going to work out well. You know, we're probably not, the relationship won't last very long because I give a lot of shits to
Yeah.
it, you know? And so, you know, thank you for the compliments, but it's also not been just me. And yeah, to your point, a lot of people have told me, like, what you've done in a year is impressive. And I do have to sit back and, like, take that gratitude because, like, it's true. What I've done in a year is significantly different than anything else. Like, I've run other businesses and I've also ran some businesses to be able to launder money for other businesses and, you know, whatever,
man?
you know, and I've probably squandered a ton of money in my day just by my entrepreneurial spirit. But, you know, this one is also because it's got a lot more than just like, oh, this will make me a ton of money.
Yeah.
I didn't do this for the money, trust me.
Yeah.
So
Mission behind it.
far, like, my wallet's thin, but whatever, you know, it's made out of pure leather, so it's tough.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I think it's amazing. Both Mike and I admire you and just like what you've created and even like what you're doing, the impact that you're already having. It's really incredible.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to the lawyer lady. I enjoyed that one a lot.
She's an interesting cat.
Well, actually, I was going to say we have one last question for you guys based off of her question. As you guys know, we have like the closing tradition where we have
Yeah,
the last
I don't like how you
guest
guys pretended like you don't know who POD is, by the way. When you asked what's
Another
the name
callback.
about POD, and you guys are like, oh, I've never heard of POD. Everybody heard of I Feel So Alive. That was like a radio hit when they were famous. The Christian metal band that I
It's
asked
going
him.
to be the play out to this episode.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's all right. We'll review.
Okay.
We'll review-
I'm like,
review the
I don't
tape
even know what
later.
you're talking about. Okay. Anyway, she had asked, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like you wrote it down.
I'll go check it.
Yeah. But when we were talking to her, she was like, yeah, a lot of people kind of put me in this box of like being a lawyer and what I should act like, how I should dress. Like, she was just talking about like, I I just don't want to live that way, like inside the confines of this box that society kind of puts me in. And so, wait, what'd you say?
It's a container.
Yeah, exactly.
We do
Sorry, I thought you
container
said I can take her. And I was like,
A container.
I can take her.
She's got 2 Malinois. I have 1. And
Yeah.
She can take me.
But, okay, so her question was like, if you are not living in the confines of society's box that you feel like society's putting on you, what life would you be living?
I'm doing that.
I have another way.
I was supposed to be a fucking hammer swinger. Like, I grew up in the construction and cowboy industry. I wanted to be a bull rider when I was a kid. You know, that was my first thing I wanted to do. I was born and raised in the rodeo world. My mother was Miss Rodeo Oregon 77 and 78. That's why I have this tattoo. And then when she died, her favorite animal was a fucking elephant. So I had to figure out what I could get for her when she died, because I was like, I already got the cool one when she was alive.
Right.
You know, my grandpa was a fucking significant calf roper. Like, I come from rodeo royalty, and then the other side is like lumber mills and tile industry. Like, I learned through fucking the realities of shoveling shit and swinging hammers. That's not what I want to do the rest of my life. The fact that I come from like middle of nowhere Oregon and I've become this kind of techie dude who builds websites and designs stuff is kind of breaking the mold from where I come from. Most of the guys I know now are working blue collar jobs.
So you'd be a tradie.
Yeah. So like, I would say that I've already broken that mold, and that might be just me just like jerking myself off or whatever. But like, you know, I sacrificed a lot for my craft. I lived out of my car. I wanted to become what I am now. And then did I think I'd end up becoming some kind of like drug and alcohol counselor? Fuck no. If you'd asked me that 3 years ago, I'd have said, you've had too much and you need to go home. But
go ahead.
You know, I broke my own mold too, because I was a self-identified like wannabe Pauly Shore, live and die, you know, in the party. So yeah, word. Anyway, what about you, Shayne? Because I just took up 8 minutes.
No, I'm going to rephrase what she asked too, because if you had to step outside the box you're expected to be in, what would your life look like?
Okay, so I guess I got that question wrong. But that was a great answer to that question.
That was a great answer. I think I'd be extremely miserable.
Pull this in a little bit.
I feel like I'd be extremely miserable. We call those people NPCs. The kids do, I guess. Yeah.
It's a non-playable character for those who don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. Thank you for that.
It's like when you play video games and there's like those people in the background that are just like
It's people you shoot in Grand Theft Auto.
The extras.
Yeah, the extras.
Yeah.
I like, since I was young, I never wanted to be normal, and I feel like I'm doing a great job at that. If I was normal,
I would agree.
I agree. It was just funny the way you just said that.
I feel like if I was just working a normal 9-to-5 job, I would be wanting to. I'm not gonna make suicidal comments, but you know where I was going.
It's okay, you can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I've publicly admitted to my shit.
I would not be happy with life.
Yeah.
I'm much more happy trying to build my own character, be myself, not being scared to be myself. I mean, that's a big thing. I feel like for a long time I was always trying to be somebody I wasn't, and these days I'm able just to be myself all the time, and people really respect that about me. Even people that are older than me, which is kind of crazy. People that are quite a bit older than me, like, have a level of respect because they're like, oh, this kid is like walking in his own shoes and doing his own thing. And I do love that because I always wanted to be respected, even when I was trying to be somebody else. And when you're trying to be somebody else, people aren't going to respect you. But it would always piss me off when people would be like, oh, like, I'm not going to respect this kid. Like, he is playing somebody he's not. And now, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm able to inspire people. I'm not trying to jerk myself off like he's saying, but I feel like I am able to inspire people, and that's something that I've always wanted to do as well. Like, I've always had dreams since I was a kid of being in stadiums and stuff, and like people have been like, but it's not even like for my own ego. It's more like so like I can give people hope, give them like like a desire to be something great. I don't know. Like that's what I want. Yeah.
That authenticity is the most attractive thing. Like, regardless of age, I think the most authentic people are the ones you're always attracted to. Like, there's always that one weird kid, but he's authentically himself, and you're like, I fuck with that kid way more than the kid who's trying to be somebody who he's not, and he doesn't plug in the same way.
I had to give some kid that lecture yesterday who's coming into our program. I was like, it's just because you're real, you know, and he's like lost his way and all kinds of things. And I was like, dude, I was a square peg in a round hole society my whole life, and I still am, but now fuck everybody.
Well, it attracts the right people to you more often than not.
Yeah.
'Cause they like you for you instead of whatever you're trying to be.
But also, like, when real recognize real, it's like, all right, I can hang out with that person.
Yeah.
You know? So.
On gang.
100%. When you said stadium, I just imagined like you as like Freddie Mercury, like singing. I'm not gonna get over the singing.
You know who he looks like with just a mustache is Jim Carrey's character in Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh, wait, really? Like without the beard, just the mustache?
Just the mustache.
I can't.
You're gonna have to play multiple Halloween characters in October. We're gonna have to dress you up in Freddie, Jim Carrey.
We're not gonna dress you up.
Yeah, we're gonna dress you up. Sorry, I keep thinking about the lady boys.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Thank you for chit-chatting.
Yeah, seriously, thank you.
Fucking stoked to see some of the growth of what's happened.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you do have a similar like head shape. Like face
With the
head
mustache
shape.
is when it really, there we go.
Oh my gosh.
Get this on camera. Turn to the camera. Turn to the camera.
Oh my god.
I can see it a little bit. Minus the buzz cut.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
But guys, thank you for being who you guys are.
Yes.
I fucking love you guys. You have been part of the community that I love in Truckee. That's why I enjoy hanging out with you.
We love you
Going
too,
rolling.
man. You're awesome. You guys' podcast is hilarious. There was one that I could not totally get into because they reminded me too much of some types of people I grew up around. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names on who it was, but outside of that, I've been a steady listener myself, so I'm part of that 30 human community.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
And obviously, I very regularly answer all your questions with complete sincerity online.
I know you do. You're like one of the only people that participate.
A lot of butt stuff.
Some of it I'm like, I can't post this shit.
That's the best part.
It's oddly
God.
specific.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
love.
I'm like, you know who it is at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye.